Okay, we are recording. Hi, good evening. This is the first Zoom of February, which is so exciting. And my goal for this is that I really wanted to bring some people on that I have directly enrolled to me that have really persevered through different seasons. And we always say this, that yes, the super quick, I signed up and went 4K in 32 hours, like it's inspiring. But I think that the most important part of this business is perseverance. And if you were to ask me, like looking back at the past 6 years of my entire network marketing career, what is the number one thing I would tell somebody? It's just don't quit. Like it's perseverance through everything. And that is the biggest part of it, along with everything else we train. But I have a handful of incredible 3 4Ks and 1 12K that are enrolled through me that are just going to share a little bit of their story. And they have very different stories, but their journey with promoting was kind of the same, where they hit 4K and then kind of stayed at 4K. Some lost it, some got it back, some hovered right over that, and went through a season of really having breakthroughs, and then are now in a building season coming out of that because they persevered. So not every month I'm seeing their volume climb. I'm seeing them reaching for these promotions. And especially in this bonus season, I want your eyes to be on the prize, and I want you to be forward focused and knowing that no matter what season you've been in, no matter where you have been stuck. So whether I'm speaking to somebody where you're like, girlfriend, I just cannot get my volume over 1200. I can't do it. I try, I can't get it up. Or maybe you hit 4K and you haven't been able to maintain it. Or maybe you went 12K and lost it. Whatever your story is, in a season where you're reaching for a bonus that may be something you have to maintain and then hit or grow through, I want their stories to inspire you and maybe just hear some breakthroughs about what they went through to get to that next level. So I have questions laid out. I'm going to have them introduce themselves. But I did write down this one quote, and I think it's so important. I'm sure you've heard it, but it's that whole quote that talks about how smart people learn through their own experiences and grow through their own experiences, but smarter people learn from others and the experiences that they've gone through. And normally that's tied to mistakes, like mistakes people have made. So we're not talking about mistakes, just experiences. You never know when you are going to hear one thing, one word, one part of a story, one aha moment that is going to completely change your business. And that's what I pray happens tonight, is that you can listen to their journeys and relate to something and feel something they've been through and be like, that's it. Like, that's my roadblock. That's where I'm stuck, and allow them experiencing it to help you break through it and work smarter, not harder. So now that I'm panting, I'm going to try to hand this off. I'm going to have them go through and introduce themselves, and then I'm going to go through question to all of them, next question to all of them, rather than like somebody talking for a full time. So first, Lori, can you just introduce yourself and share a little bit of your story for people that may be new here, like before Thrive and then Thrive now, just a glimpse into you.
Yeah. Hi guys. How are y'all? Excuse first off, this ring light is terrible. It bounced off my glasses, but hi, I'm Lori. I am a 4K. I want to tell you guys, y'all are looking to relate to somebody that overthinks every single situation that ever could arise. I am your girl. I was actually with another company before this, and I hit a high rank in the other company, and then I just went downhill, and I almost quit on network marketing completely. Like, I was ready to throw it in. I was like, not for me. This is a bust. And then my path aligned with Emma, and I don't know, something kept drawing me to her. But let me tell you, it was not like an easy feat. It was like a back and forth with us. Like, okay, I'm going to do it. Nah, just kidding. I'm not. Oh, wait, I'm ready. Wait, no, maybe give me a little more time. And it was like this for months. And then finally, I decided to jump in. And when I did, I said I was all in, but then like I wasn't really all in because I was so petrified of starting over and feeling like I had failed previously, that it kind of took me a while. And then I realized that I didn't want to be that stigma of like doing it again, like just letting myself fail because I quit. So I started going after it. I hit 4K, and I'm going to get into that later, like the ups and downs of my journey. But I hit 4K, and I realized that this is home, and this is like different than any other other opportunity I've ever had. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to go first. So I'm a little nervous, you guys. So, hey, I'm going to let somebody else go and introduce themselves. But yeah,
Don't
I'm
be
excited.
nervous. Thank you. I also want to say before I bounce this to Matt, and I randomly picked you guys, so don't be like, why'd you put me first? Everybody that is speaking has been with us for a year and longer. So I want you to hear their stories and their journeys and know that this is not just like, oh, they've been in for 2 months and they've gone through all these different things. It's been a year plus of perseverance. So there have been many different seasons and many different ups and downs, many different types of months, types of months enrolling, types of months with volume, types of months with mindset. So that's kind of what I want to go through here. Okay, Matt, I'm going to have you go next because you also have a very unique story. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes. Am I good?
Yes.
Okay, so my name's Matt. If you don't know me, I actually came from a different team in Thrive, which is weird, but this team is so much different. Like if you've been in another network marketing company, like we were just like taught to cold message. We didn't have like social media training. So I actually came here and I am nervous too because I don't go live or anything like that. So Lori, I'm glad you went first. But yeah, I've been a 4K on this team for like almost a year now. And I've just been kind of working towards 12K and we're going to get into that in a second. But yeah, that's me.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And with Matt too, what he's going to talk about with his story that I thought was really important is that you can see the building stages in his business. He runs his and his boyfriend's account, but from maintaining and striving to maintain to 4K every month, he's building steadily every single month. So we're going to talk about those breakthroughs and how now he's closing at like 6,000 to 7,000 a month, pushing for 12K instead of just, maintaining. If you can't hear, just hit the microphone button at the bottom. Okay, Jordan, now you go and introduce yourself. Where are you? Hold on.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah, we have a lot of people on tonight. So hello, I'm Jordan. I am a 4K leader. I started 21 months ago. It's now 22. February 1st was my 22nd month of the first time I ever took the products. And so is everyone good? Can they hear? I'm looking at the comments. Okay. I came from a lot of things, mostly management. So I was in property management, very successful with that, had 760 residents underneath me, an entire property at the age of 23. And then I became an operations manager.
Oh, hold on. You're muted. Hold on.
Okay.
You're good now.
There's someone's face that keeps popping up. You're so beautiful. I don't know who you are, but your face keeps popping up on here. So anyways, I came from property management. Like I said, I ran an entire property in downtown Columbia, South Carolina, very young. And then I went into being an operations manager for a dentist office. And at the age of 25, I was about to be promoted to my own region and become regional manager of North Carolina and start our entire corporation there for that company. And I was so upset and running on empty, and I could never see myself being a mom and being able to do both. And I was finally with my husband at that time, and I was aligned with other areas of my life. And so I said, nope, this isn't worth it. I don't want to be away from home like this. No amount of money, because I made really nice money there and bonuses every single month, and my benefits were great, but it wasn't worth it. So that was it. I went back to the basics, and I went back to being a CNA, which is a certified nurse's assistant. And I went to go get my license. And I did that job at the age of 17. So after being a very successful manager and humbling myself and coming back to be a CNA where I, wipe old people's butts and bathe them and get in the cracks and nooks and crannies for them and all of that stuff. I love it, but it was supposed to lead me into my nursing school and prereqs. But while I was working as a CNA and while I was in my nursing prereqs, I needed extra money because I went from making salary and bonuses to $10 an hour with no benefits and driving an hour to my client's house. And And I love my geriatric clients. I saw Erica said she's a CNA. I love them, but I knew that's not sustainable. And so I had followed her because she cold messaged me in her old company to be a customer. So I was
You were a customer.
I was a greens customer. I kept getting these things on my doorstep, and I was like, I didn't even know I had an auto ship. And so 5 greens containers later, I was like, can you please take this off of auto ship? And so I followed her, and I just saw her doing so well. She had a whole new life about her. She was getting on track, and it was just, I don't know. For me, it was easy. I was like, so can I join? Like, what do I do? And she's just like, this is what it is. And I said, cool. Where do I sign up? And that was it. There wasn't much to it. So now I'm here, and I've been 4K. I hit it the 5th month I was in Lavelle. Yes. So month 5, I hit 4K, kind of went up and down, and now I've been steadily maintaining and going up. So.
Yes, thank you. And what I'm sure she's going to touch on too when I ask the questions, but something that I love so much about Jordan is that she does not determine the way that she shows up or the way that she works her business with what her paycheck said on Tuesday. She has shown up, and I'm sure that you can attest that if you're new on here or you've joined in on something, you probably thought that Jordan was a higher rank than a 4K because of the way that she shows up and pours into this team and leads this team. And that's something I hope that she speaks on, is that she has committed to, this is my career, even before it became a full-time income or it was at the end goal. You know what I mean? And she's always shown up in that manner. So I love that. Okay. Next, Olivia, introduce yourself, and then we will get into the questions.
Okay, so the moment I need to start talking, here comes Lincoln. So I swear, I think he has a timer in his head when I'm about to do something. Let's go mess it up. I'm just kidding. You all, I have been with Lavelle, and M has been my upline for almost 2 years. In July, I'm a 12K, working towards 40K. And, you know, I don't even know how M and I got connected. I was on Instagram one day with It Works at that time, and I just saw her shine. I saw her IGTV where she was just saying everything that I was feeling about the company that I was with. And I was like, there's another way? There's another way to run a business. Like, I don't have to cold message all day and be on my phone and be miserable. Like, this is where I finally decided to join Lavelle. Like, 6 days is all it took when I was talking to him. That's literally all it took. Like, I thought on it for like 2 or 3 days, and then I was like, okay, I don't have the money. How am I going to get the money? I did not have the money, guys. I had a negative bank account, if that. I put my pride to the side and I asked for help, and I made it happen, and I got the money. I was so excited about it. I sent him a message, personally sent her a message, and was like, I am so excited, like, at the bank drive-through, depositing $200 to get my bag. Like, I just didn't, like, know what I was getting into. I was just scared, but I knew that it was happening for a reason, because what she was saying was what I wanted. I wanted happy customers. I wanted a business that I could run without feeling bad, without sending messages to people that didn't want to hear from me, having people's auto ship run that they never knew was going to run, like Jordan just touched on. So, we're just so set apart. And to this day, I still talk about the things that I talked about in the beginning. I keep it I'm always looking left and right from time to time. And I like to keep it back to the basics when I need to. And remember that I've got to get back to the 3 steps, back to why I started. And the story's never it's never going to change, right? When you started, you felt what you felt, and you took the chance. And here we are working towards a 40K bonus as a single mom, and it feels good. That's it.
I love Olivia's story, and if you have watched her since she's joined, hi Lincoln, or just watched her page at all, you can see the growth in her and the way that she carries herself and the way that she even like writes her posts or the way she talks in her story. Like, you can just see so much growth. And I remember the day that she signed up, like she said, she went to put the money in her account. I distinctly remember in a DM, she sent me a picture of her holding the $200 in her hand because she was so excited. I'll never forget that moment, because I was like, this girl is about to change her life because I could see it in her that she was committed and she was in. And you've grown so much. Okay. Question. So as I said, we're going to bump through everybody. So the first question is, so after you hit your first rank, and this can relate this to whatever your story is, after you enrolled your first customer, after you hit your VIPs, or for the people that I'm asking, after you hit your first rank and went 4K, did you ever feel like you hit a plateau or had a regression in your business? And looking back, can you identify anything that would have played a role in that? Like what played into kind of being stuck where you were? So Lori, you can go first.
Okay. So yeah, I hit 4K. I think it was last June or July. It was in the summer of last year. Not last year. Wait, yeah. God, I'm losing track of time. Anyway, I hit 4K and I felt so good and I was so amped up. You know, you like hit something and you're on fire. And then honestly, you guys, I'm going to be real. My plateau was because 1, my mindset was awful. 2, I was lying to myself and I was playing the comparison game so bad, which I still have to work on every day. Like it's a constant growth, you guys. Like that's something I want to really touch on right now is I feel like so many people look at our leaders and they look at anybody that they feel like is more successful than them and they think that they don't ever struggle. They think that they don't ever get in that loop of feeling like they're less than or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like everybody struggles in this and it's a constant growth. And my main thing was I was letting that fester and feed. And then I was straight up lazy. I was telling saying to Em and everybody else, like, oh, I'm doing the things. But your girl was not doing the things. Like I was busy work. And that's how I would start the comparison is I would just scroll on Instagram and start comparing to so many people. And I was looking at these women and I'm like, gosh, why am I not there? Why am I not there? And it literally kept me planted in the same spot because I was so worried about what they were doing, what they had, that I wasn't focused on growing myself to be equipped enough to handle that season in life and that season in my business and where I'm going to be. And so that was like my huge thing. And honestly, mindset is something that I always struggle with, but I feel like I started doubting my place here. I started doubting that I was capable or worthy of being in this tribe and worthy of being here. And I had to really remember now, of course, which we can talk about later too. But then if I would have just taken a moment and remembered why I started this and remembered where I was going and kept my blinders up instead of worrying about what this girl was doing or what this girl, and don't like take this the wrong way. I'm always so happy for everybody. I'm always cheering everybody on. But for me, it was like a very toxic way of comparing. And if I would have just realized that God has me on this path, not her path, because that's her path. This is my path. And if I would have stayed on that course and I would have kept my feet going forward instead of staying stuck, wondering why I couldn't have her life, I think that would have been something that, thanks Rosa, Ross, girlfriend, like $6. But anyways, that would have helped me kind of get through that, I think.
Yeah, I think that being in a community like this, it can either be the best thing you've ever experienced, or it can lead you into that path of, like she said, planting yourself and being stuck because all you're doing is absorbing everybody else and looking at everybody else and comparing yourself to everybody else. Because like there's a lot of us. This is a very big team and we have a very successful team. And so if that's where you spend your time and you're looking at somebody's Instagram feed, like we say, the highlight reel, and that's what you're focused on, your story is not moving. It's like shutting your book and you're just going to stand here and hold it while everybody else is flipping the pages and you're watching them do it, but you were stuck. And I actually had this conversation with Olivia last week. I said, I don't follow a single thriver. Like I don't have them on my newsfeed. I don't have them in stories. Do I go through at night and like love on y'all stories and like pick random people each day and talk to you guys that way? Yes, because I love to interact, but I can't spend my day doing that. And it's just what she said. It doesn't matter if you were a brand promoter or you were 200K. I struggle with the same exact things that you guys do. I compare myself. I feel less than. I feel insecure. I get in my head. I get into a lack mindset. Everything that everybody else feels, everybody feels. So if that's an issue for you, I want you to focus on your story and your story alone. That doesn't mean that you can't love your tribe. That doesn't mean that you can't cheer people on, but you have to have your blinders on and remember why you're here. So the way that I always put it into perspective is like, if I'm doing this for my husband and my future family at the time, like, I don't think my husband is going to care what like Sally put on her Instagram that day or how fast, you know, Megan hit her. Like, he's not, that doesn't mean anything to my family. What are we here for? So I want you to refocus on your story. And like she said, getting back to why you started, and you have to quiet the noise. So I love that. Okay, Matt, now you go.
Okay, definitely relate to everything Lori just said, like watching people go like 12K in like a day, and you're like, what the hell? I've been doing this for like ever, and I'm still stuck at like 4K. But I would say that, like, comparing myself, that's definitely like been like a block for me, but also just like not believing in myself, and the fact that like I came from a different team, so I failed at this company before, so that's been like a big mental block for me. But what I've done to get through that basically is just like doing the affirmations and like working on believing in myself and doing personal development and not watching other people's stuff. Like, I used to do that all the time. I'd go through everyone's posts and watch what everyone was doing, and like, you just can't do that. Like, of course, interact with people and be their friend, but like, if you're always watching someone else like succeed and you're like still stuck, it's gonna mess with your mind.
Absolutely. Okay. Jordan, you go.
All right. So I actually was surprised that asked me to even be on here, because now don't make that face, because I literally feel like more times than not, I am plateauing. Like, that's how I have felt for a very long time, except for recently. I feel as though I hold myself to a high standard of what I know that I could be, could do, want to be, want to do. And I know that for me, at least, I feel like I hit these breakthroughs all the time. And that's what I want you guys to understand, is like, this entire career is hitting different breakthroughs, and you're going to be so stoked, and you're going to hit a breakthrough, and then like a day later, something's going to come, and you're going to be like, oh, a new layer. Okay. So that's coming out of nowhere. Like, you're going to steadily be growing your layers and getting thicker and thicker skin, and you know, smarter business layers, and you're going to just understand things finally, and it's going to make more sense, and you're going to be more strategic. But yes, when it comes to regression, I definitely hit that, you know, that high, because it was a $2,000 bonus that got paid out in September of 2019. And I remember in August, I had put my tracker on my picture. And I don't know if anyone had ever done that before, but I was like straight up telling my audience, like, I'm going 4K. I'm earning this $2,000 bonus. And I did, but I didn't maintain my rank to get the full $2,000 bonus. I hit 4K 2 months in a row, saw the best paychecks I've still to this day ever seen. And I remember texting me. I was in the bathroom just digging around, and she's like, go check your paycheck. And I was like, what? And I started bawling because I went from making 50 to over 500. Like, it was literally a week switch, adding a zero and some more to it. And so I you know, went back down after that. And then I remember I was on month 9, and Cody and my husband, there was one night where he was trying to give me business advice, and I got very defensive and very upset. And I left the room, and I just went in our bedroom and cried. And he came in, and he was like, well, you know, do you still want to do this? It's okay if you don't. And that's when my switch was just like, F no. I was like, I don't want anything but this. Like, this, I don't want to quit. I don't want to give this up. I don't want to go back to management. I don't want to do that. I want this. And so I think on month 9 was when I finally sat there, because he said, like, hey, it's okay if you want to stop. And I'm like, no, it's not. Says who? Yeah, right. That's not what I want. And so I feel like you just keep creating this new normal for your business and for your daily routine. And you're going to regress and have plateaus, but then you have those breakthroughs, and then you're going to have those plateaus, and you're going to have those breakthroughs. And for the love of God, I just want to hit 12K. Like, because for me, I feel like I've been at this 4K, and then my highest has been 9. But for me, I feel like I'm going to hit 12K and it's going to go fast after that. That's what I feel, is that like this has taken so long that when I finally get to that point, it's going to really shove itself over, and I will be prepared because of everything that I have, done. And I definitely regressed while we were, living in the RV and everything like that for 8 months. And I really went backwards, and I went back to Cody having to pay some of the bills that were on my auto pay that I had never had to ask him for. And so that was my lowest point, is when I had to go to my husband and be like, I can't pay this auto pay that I've been paying, right? And so got my life together, moved us into a townhome, and literally I paid off over $500 in credit card debt in 1 month. I was able to keep my bills on auto pay. I'm very thankful for my husband. He takes a huge load, but like for me, it was a breakthrough. That was another breakthrough and another plateau to go up from. And I now finally feel as though I am back with my momentum. And that's what I just told Em, is like January was like a huge shift is what I'm feeling. Yeah, that's it.
I remember you said last month, I don't know the exact wording of how you said it, but it was in a voice message, and you were like, I just feel at peace. And you said, I feel calm in it. And you said, I'm so excited and I feel the momentum, but there's a peace. And that's what I want you guys to achieve, because like she said, there's never going to be an easy point in your business. It's not going to happen. It's business. The same way that we say that sales will always fluctuate, so will like your mood and the shit that's flying at you that you're trying to handle. Like there's no even steady ground, and you do not ever want to hit a rank before you are ready. I earned that sign in 5 months. You don't want to do that. Okay. I was not ready. And I know that I had to go first, and I had to work to doggy paddle my way back upstream to pour this into you guys now, so that you can be equipped and called leaders when it is your time to promote. But you don't want something before you're ready, because it's chaos and it's stress and it's that catch-up game. When I want you to have the feeling, she's saying, when you step into it and there's a peace that you can handle the messages, you can handle the volume, you can handle the customers, you can handle a growing team. Me, I couldn't even, I didn't know how to keep up with my messages on Facebook. I was like, do I create a group? Like, what do we do here? We started this for nothing because we had no idea what we were doing. You want to have that peace when you step into something. And when we're frantic and when we're in lack and when we're just scratching for that next rank, it's when you have to focus inward and know that there's more preparation that's happening, and you're going to be so thankful for it in the future. I promise. Okay, Liv, finish out answering this round, and then we'll go to question 2.
Okay, so I started in July 2019, and I hit my VIPs. I went 4K in 30 days, and then that's when the plateau regression, it was stuck. And I say stuck, I don't like to use that word, but we'll just use it for now. And from October, late September, October, all the way through July of 2020 is when I was 4K or less. I wasn't enrolling. I did not have a schedule. I didn't schedule business hours. I wasn't disciplined enough. I did not set my business as a business. I wasn't treating it like a business. During that time, I was hungry. I wanted to learn things. I hopped on trainings. I showed up, posted here and there, maybe did a live, wasn't very active on my stories. I was just not committed 100%. I wasn't all in, but I wanted to learn how you guys were doing this, how you were building a team. And that's where I always like to tell my girls, be a sponge, be a student, be open to learning how we do things. Throw me in a 3-way chat. Let me help you with conversations. Be eager to learn how we do attraction marketing and things like that. So that's where I took everything I had learned through that period And then June 2020 is when I had my breakthrough, and I was like, it's go time. Like, I've been here this amount of time, like it's almost a year. I became confident. You all, like, I just had something go off. It was just something. I didn't just wake up and feel it. It was something that happened over time, and I was very focused. I felt a shift. I had been working on my mindset, listening to podcasts. I always had done that, and I had been learning all that time, but I wasn't putting in the action. I wasn't putting in the things that I wanted to say I was doing and be serious about it. And I was just like going through the motions, where today it looks a lot different. Today I'm a lot more disciplined than I was back then. And I've learned to do that because of the things that I've learned through this time, and just working on myself, because the success that I want, that I think I deserve, I'm not ready for until he says, and until I'm at that till I'm that leader, right? Till I truly believe in myself. Like, you all, like, I am thinking big success now, and I never would have thought that if I didn't step into that confidence, if I didn't work on myself, because like I was very small-minded. I didn't think that I could achieve 6 figures. Like, saying the thing, I am a millionaire, like saying that was scary. Saying I am statements was very scary. And I think with confidence, I've learned that I've got to get uncomfortable. I've got to say these things, and I've got to think different than your average person, right? Because I want massive success. I want that for my life. And I've just got to do things differently than I would at that time. So that's about it.
Yeah, I think that it's a big battle that people face in network marketing, is because we have all the resources, right? We have all the trainings, all the resources, all the leaders you can message for help. But it's kind of the same way, like when you listen to your worship in the morning, or you get off like a really banging podcast and like you're on fire and you feel so good. But then like within 30 minutes that fades, right? And we go back into our old patterns and that excitement goes away. It's the same thing with trainings. We get on all these trainings and we hear all these leaders and we pour into you guys. But when you wake up tomorrow morning, what changes? Are you actually absorbing what you're listening to? Are you absorbing the things you're being taught? Or is it kind of just like you're feeling? So I feel like in that period, Liv, it's not that you ever weren't consistent or you didn't ever show up, because you did. You were on all the trainings, you were on your social media. But when you put it like that, it makes sense that you were intaking it all, but it took you to that certain level to say, okay, what am I outputting? What am I actually going to turn this into for it to produce something in my business? You have to take what you learn and do something. Like, I don't want you to be inspired. I want you to wake up tomorrow and do something about it. And that's when your business starts to change. Now there's more people in my house. So I love that. Thank you. Okay. Question number 2 is, and I really just hope that this makes you guys feel that you're not alone and that we can have some breakthroughs here. What has been the hardest area in your business for you, or the biggest lesson that you've learned? Lori, you can go first.
Okay, so I have a couple of things, honestly. And one of those things, and I say this all the time, is I overthink every situation I possibly can, like to a point where it's unhealthy, the amount that I overthink things, right? And that's where I feel like the comparison game comes in. But not only that, but really like what Liv was saying, and I kind of mentioned earlier, is I was telling everybody else I was doing the things or showing up, but I wasn't really doing the things that were going to build my business. I wasn't really doing the things that could show people what is possible with this opportunity. And I just really have been, up until recently, I mean, even now I feel much more of a shift, like daily. I have like these little breakthroughs every single day with myself. And I actually was just telling him this, I don't remember if it was yesterday or today. Like I said, hi, time does it. I don't know what that is, but I was telling her yesterday that I feel like I'm changing, like internally. And sometimes I have a hard time of how do I get that out? How do I get who I really am or who I'm becoming out? And I feel like instead of trying to work through that, to show people like what's possible or how you can grow and evolve, I just keep it to myself and I let myself kind of get into this shell. and it holds me back, and I haven't embraced like me through every single season. I've been trying to skip over the valley part and skip over that walk through the valley and learning how to grow through all of my struggles, so that when I get to that mountaintop, I can look back at every single thing that I've grown through, and I'm able to pave that way for people and show them how to do the same thing, right? Show them how I was able to overcome those not problems, because it's going to turn you into the person you need to become. And this is like something I feel like we all can agree on, is that you can't rush into this. Like I've been trying to rush into it, and it's not where it's at. That instant gratification is not where it's at. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Also knowing that like we all have the same 24 hours. So instead of making excuses as to why I didn't get something done, just actually doing it. And then realizing that if I would have just done it instead of made an excuse or put it off. So those were my issues, but that's what I'm currently working through, is actually showing up for myself and my dream, and for every single woman that needs to see my story and needs to see that they're a lot like me, or they're similar to what I'm going through, and that they're capable 100% to grow through it and to turn it into something that can literally last for their lifetime and their generation and following and all that. So
yeah, and I don't remember exactly what I said to you last night when I was voice messaging you, but I think that when we have that growth, obviously it feels uncomfortable and it feels messy, but that's a good thing. Like I would rather you look in the mirror and be like, I got to figure out who I am, because like I don't know who I was 3 months ago, and like I don't know how to step into this person, than be in the same habits that you were 3 to 6 months ago. And something else I always pour into you guys is that if you were in this 100% and you were putting in the work every day, you're going to feel that growth. Like I've been 126 people since I signed up. Like I don't know who I was when I joined. I don't know who I was a year ago. I don't know who I was 6 months ago, because it's so ever changing. And I think if you're not feeling that, that's what you have to identify, is so much less of like, well, why didn't my reel get views? Or like, why was nobody on my live? Like, why don't we look internally and like, what can we really focus on to grow? Because your business grows as you grow. And I know that's corny, but that's what this is. It's that whole saying, like it's personal development with a paycheck. When you grow, your business is going to grow because you're equipped to handle more. And if it doesn't feel messy and uncomfortable, you're probably staying stagnant. So that's a really good thing to focus on. Okay, Matt, you can go now.
Okay, so first of all, 2020 was just like a freaking hard year despite like business. Like the fact that we like made it through that whole mess, I feel like we should just all give ourselves a pat on the back. So like doing the business during that year was like freaking hard. But besides that, I would say the hardest part is just like to keep going whenever you don't feel like you're moving forward. You don't feel like your team's growing. You don't feel like your volume's like stuck. We don't want to say the word stuck, but like your volume's always ending at the same or like a little bit less. And you just feel like you're not getting where you want to go fast enough. So I think that the hardest part for me is just realizing that we can only control what we do. We can't control like how fast this goes. When someone signs up on our team, when we promote, like you can only control what you do and focus on like your IPAs and like working on yourself, and just let everything else come when it needs to come for you. It's like the biggest thing I've learned.
It is. That's huge. And that's what I always want to say to people is, for some reason, it's our human nature that when we have those feelings of the I'm stuck, or I'm not getting anywhere, or it's not happening fast enough, we quit, which is like the opposite of achieving what we're trying to achieve. It's like our first instinct is to just be like, okay, well, just never mind. I'm not doing it then. But that's the opposite of what you were frustrated about not happening. You know what I mean? Like it's the complete opposite of what you're trying to do. So I always say that, and Jordan says it all the time about, it's like my favorite phrase when she's like, are you still going to take your products every day? Yes. Okay, then why would you quit your business? Like, what are you doing? Why would you stop? Why would you stop showing up? It's not about a time frame. It's not about the volume and what goes up and what goes down. You just have to be in it. That's what I said in the beginning. I had months where I made nothing. Like my first paycheck in network marketing was $4 for a month. Okay. But like, I thought I was on fire. I was like, I signed a customer. That's incredible. That's the mindset I'm proud of. Did I have hard months? Yes. But my mind was always forward and that perseverance was there. So even when I dropped 3 ranks in my past company, even when this was my full-time job, but I was making $200 a month at it, which doesn't add up, I was still showing up on social media. It's the perseverance where you have to focus less on what's happening and more on what you want, because the more you focus on that, that's not going to get you to where you're trying to be. It's the perseverance of just saying, I'm in this. It's not about what is on my paycheck next Tuesday. It's not about what's in my back office on the 30th. Where am I going to be in 2 years? Where am I going to be in 3 years, 5 years, etc. So I love that. Okay. Jordan, you can go.
Okay. My hardest areas and biggest lessons are actually a lot different, I think, than some. I think a lot of people are scared of like failure or scared of opinions. I have none of those. I really could care less. And I know what the big man upstairs feels about me. I know what my family, I know what this can do. And I know how many people I've already helped. So I guess to me, it was one, finding balance. I think balance was really huge, but it's not just one area of balance. When entrepreneurship is you, you really don't know what each day is going to be. And you learn the balance of like screen time, you learn the balance of sales and posting, when to post and all that stuff, and the balance of, your team and like popping in and all these things. I would say leadership is probably my biggest lesson, because when you go from being a manager to leadership, there is a certain aspect that you have to let go of. I was very much so over top of things, and I was used to micromanaging, and I was used to not letting people flourish like they should, because that's what we do as leaders. Like, whether you have one person underneath you or it's just you, the point is that we bring someone on and they get to make this whatever they want to make it. And we get to help them believe in themselves to be the best version of themselves. Like, we give them the vehicle, but we are the ones that are going to be like, yes, you can. And then they're the ones that decide. And so I had to lay down the guilt as a leader, because to me, I think I should have more people underneath me. Like, I want to lead a bigger team. I'm ready. I'm craving, people that are running, but it's coming little by little. And what was the biggest thing is that I started bringing on sideline sisters that had no one, that had gotten dropped from somewhere else or whatever. And really just seeing their spark light up simply because we were able to be in a chat together and just stay steady. That is a whole nother fire and spark in itself. And so I can say that I know I don't have the fear of failing, because I know I'm not stopping. And so like that doesn't really bother me, but it's the leadership aspect of, you get so excited. Oh my gosh, we're dancing in the kitchen and someone just signed their promoter pack. Where'd they go? I don't know. The next day they poofed into midair. Like, they're on Jupiter, and we thought we were running for some goals. And so like, to me, I had to sit there, and it was bringing on people, laying down guilt. And then once you have your steady flow, like, people have came back on my team multiple times. They've left and they've come back. They've left, they've come back, because I'm still here. And I say that every time. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. So you get your life together and I'll be here, because I know this is home. And so, you come whenever that time is for you. Everyone's journey is different. So Ashton, I'm not just talking about you. Stop putting those faces in the comments. You're not the only one. But yes, that's it. Balance and leadership. Those are the two things.
I think that the people side of the business can be one of the hardest parts, because it's what we do. It's a people business, and it's difficult. And understanding people, reading people, responding to people, having grace with people, it is the biggest lessons you will learn. If I went back to the month I joined and went to like my messenger and looked at the way that I responded to people, or the way I handled stress, or the way I handled somebody walking away and going to a different company, you would be like, wow, she was like extra red back then, because I had to go through all of that, and it teaches you, I think, Jordan, we actually had a conversation about this. It teaches you how to handle people with grace, like not even just in the business, but in your real life. Like, I'm a nicer wife because I've learned grace, and I've learned to have patience with people. And I've learned that you can't control somebody else or what they want or what they want to do or what they're going to do with their business. And the only thing you can do is control the way that you are to others. And are you going to be here working your business? Like she said, you can't be afraid of failure if you know you're not quitting. You can't be afraid of X, Y, and Z if you know that you're not going anywhere. And I think that that is really, really important. Okay, Liv, you can finish out this question.
Yeah, so that basically was my answer too. Grace, learning where to apply grace, leaving people where they're at, accepting things that are hard. You know, you don't have to like it, but I have to accept things. I have to accept the decisions that my promoters make. I have to give them grace and learn when it's appropriate to let them know, hey, when you're ready to jump back in, I'll be here. Knowing when when it's the right time to say those things. Not being so hard on myself too. Like, I am very good at that. I'm very good because I expect a lot out of myself. Like, I work hard, like I'm consistent. I have been all this time, and I can talk to myself very ugly. I can talk to myself very negatively. And at the beginning of this month, I told Em, like, I've got to tread lightly in my mindset. Like, the way I speak to myself cannot be like negative and completely just off the wall things, because I can go to that place very, very quickly. It's easy to go to that place. It's harder to look at the lessons learned and look at the things that, you know, like you have to have those hard conversations as a leader too. There's been times where promoters want to walk away and promoters feel like they aren't getting anywhere and they aren't seeing those results. And you just have to remember why you're here. And for me, like, I always have to have that mirror check every single day. Like, what is my part in things? Where do I need to fix anything in my business? Is there something more that I need to do in my mindset? Like, I always like to have that self-inventory Ariel was talking about last night, and realize that I've got to become a better version of myself at the end of the day. And when I, you know, allow things that are outside of my control to get in my way, I'm running on E. I'm coming from a place of lack and boundaries. That's something I've learned these last few weeks, that I've had to set strong boundaries with family, even in life situations, things that that's unhealthy for me. Like today, I was talking with my family about this, and I was like, why are we bringing up negative things? Like, I've got to leave the room. Like, I can't deal with this. Like, it's just getting me in a mindset. Like, I can't hear this. Like, and my mom was like, romance and finance, right? Like, if it's not financing me or supporting me or giving me to the next level or helping me in some way, like, I just can't entertain it, you know? And my family knows that. They know that I'm working on myself too. And I always just like to remember boundaries is a very important piece. And I've got to do that. If you want to rank up, if you want to be successful, guys, you've got to set those boundaries and be strong in them. Be strong in who you are and know what you're fighting for, and realize, like, the things that are not going to impact you or help you in any way, they've got to be in the rear view. So that's what I've learned.
Yeah. Boundaries is huge. That's something I could, like, literally write a memoir on, because it's hard, especially when it's a people business and it's a business that, I don't know. I asked for him to do it, so I can't complain, or else, see, I'm just picking my battles. So we're just going to listen to it. That's what does. You become kind. You're like, okay, sure, babe. With boundaries, because this is something that can so easily bleed into every area of your life if you allow it to, like, because this is with us constantly. You become friends with your promoters, you become friends with your upline. Like, it can become something where you just have to be aware of, why am I here and where do I need to set my boundaries with what I'm comfortable with. And I also want to speak on what she was saying with, like, team members walking away. That also has to do, like, maybe your upline quit the business, or maybe they're not working anymore, or maybe a sideline sister you became super close with left and went to a different company, or this and that. You just can't focus on that. And what I will say time and time again, that as long as you are a promoter and Thrive is your company, you're set. Everything else on top of that is cake and icing and candles and roses and butterflies. All these extra layers that we have, they're gifts and they're resources that are great. But even if you strip me of everything and I still had me and I still had this company, I would still 100% believe in what could be achieved in it. And that's kind of where you have to root yourself, that it's not about other people and the friendships that you will bloom and the relationships that like, it's all so beautiful, but you have to stay rooted in why you were here, so that when somebody else walks away or somebody else falls off or somebody else does this or that, it doesn't disrupt where you're planted, because you have to remind yourself why you're here. And I think that that's super important. Okay. The last question, now that I'm reading this, I'm sorry guys, because I feel like this is what we've already talked about, but we're going to go through one more time. I just wrapped it up with what held your breakthrough when it came to steadily maintaining your volume, getting your rank back, and then beginning to see the volume rise. So like really with the team building and just working your business. Was the breakthrough something with mindset? Was it something in leadership you had to work on, a way you were running your business daily, etc.? And I just want these to be things that you guys think about. I don't want you to take one thing one person says and be like, oh, so if I do that, it's going to fix my problems. You have to look internally to where you're struggling and what's not adding up for you. But maybe something somebody says does hold your breakthrough. Maybe it's an area that, you know, like when you get really triggered by something, it's normally because like, you know, that it's something deep down you're struggling with. I'm like that all the time, where I'm like, oh, if that just made me mad, it's for a reason. Or, you know, oh, if that felt like a gut punch, it's for a reason. Listen to those feelings and maybe have that mirror check Olivia is talking about with, what is that breakthrough that I need to have? And it can be the smallest tweak sometimes in the way you're talking to yourself, your daily routine, the way you're working your business. So Laura, you can go first and we'll go through this last question.
Okay. So honestly, it was a little bit of everything for me. It was like I had this big puzzle and little pieces here and there were just missing. And I was having a hard time finding the ones that matched the spots that I had little pieces missing. And first off, like Liv said, the way I'm so toxic with the way I talk to myself. And that was a huge thing, is mindset. And I wasn't actually finding the things that fill my cup up, because you hear it time and time again. And it sounds so cliche at some point when you're listening to it. If you're not doing it, you're not practicing it. But self-development is key in a business like this. Like you have to fill your cup up. How can you expect to leave people or pour into people or give that much of yourself to people if you have nothing there? If you're not constantly refilling and reminding yourself why you're doing this and the path that you're on, you have to stay rooted in that faith and that mindset is so important. And that's something that I've really had to buckle down in, is waking up in the morning and not getting on my phone right away. Like having that first hour, when Em kept saying that, like, hey, just try it. Just try it out and see what it does for you. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And I finally did. And it's made a huge difference. Like giving that first hour to wake up and not be consumed in the world of social media, no matter how positive I am on my page, like there's a lot of toxicity there and it would automatically bleed into me. I'm an empath, y'all. Hi, I'm yellow and blue. I am yellow and blue. I'm like a chameleon, like an emotional chameleon. So if somebody next to me is sad, your girl's crying. If somebody next to me is happy, I'm jumping up and down. Like that is me. And so that mixed with feeling like I was not like a good leader because people were giving up or leaving or not wanting this, like I wanted it for them. It was a little bit of all that. And also partly just me being lazy. And I say lazy loosely because I show up every day, but I don't show up 100%. It was a lot of halfway in, halfway out. And I had to really, first off, and I talked about this a while ago, I got my son involved and I got my husband involved. And I said, look, you guys, this is what I want and this is where I'm going to take us. But I need you guys to be there with me. I need you guys to tell me what you want in life. Like, what do you need? What do you crave? What are your dreams? And when I told my son, okay, babe, this is what we have. This is what mommy has to do for a little while. Like, yes, I might be working more. Yes, I might be on more Zooms, but guess what? We're going to make these dreams come true. And I celebrate each and every win with them. And I let them know, like, Gage, guess what? I just signed another customer and we all do a dance. And I'm not even kidding. Like, I wish y'all could see how lame we are. And it's not lame because that's a big thing. Like, I feel like so many of us look at, okay, well, somebody just hit 40K. So me signing my first customer, that's nothing. Like, no, it's huge, you guys. It's huge. You have to celebrate every single win. You have to keep pouring that into yourself, your mindset, just doing the things that make you feel good. Don't lose track of that. Don't lose track of where you're going, what you're doing. If you have kiddos, great. If you don't, if you have a spouse, or if you're by yourself, just remember why you're doing it. Put it up where you can see it. Speak it out every single day and celebrate the wins, you guys. Celebrate those wins. And if you don't have an upline right now, or if you're by yourself, girl, come to my inbox and I'll celebrate the wins with you, okay? Because I am a hype girl and I will hype every single person always. But yes, so celebrate your win, fill up your cup, and don't be lazy, right? If you're going to go all in and show up for yourself and your dreams every single day, because your dreams and your goals and your vision, that's what matters, and that's what's going to keep you going. So that's all I got.
I love that. Thank you. I think that sharing it with your family is huge. And I don't know why so many of us are so reluctant to. Maybe it's just like the stigma of how people view network marketing, the same way that we're nervous about other people's opinions. Like she said, involve your family, because not only does that give them a look into this, and like they're not going to understand it until you allow them to understand it, until you let them in. But also, as she said, like, do you have a dream board for your kid, for your husband, for your boyfriend, for, you know, you and your best friend, a trip you guys on, whatever stage of life you're in, involve those around you in it and have them be a part of this, and have it just be a little, like she said, the puzzle piece of who you are. And also I'm going to touch on the phone thing. That's huge. This was something me and Lori had to work on, because she would come to me, and whenever she got flustered or upset, and you could probably go back and there's probably 10 examples in our text messages where I would just reply and I would say, put your phone down. And that was just like my go-to. Like, I need to have a text replacement, put your phone down. And we did that over and over, but then it clicked. And now you have that piece about you where you're okay to put your phone down. You're okay to wake up in the morning and not dive into it. And that's also what I was talking about with like what you're intaking on social media. This is my job. This is not like a leisure thing. Like when I'm clocking into work, I clock into work, and that means me on my stories, me posting. Yes, I'm interacting, but it's timed. So it's not a leisure thing where I'm getting lost into it or sucked into the comparison. Set boundaries and know that this is work. It's not about absorbing everybody else. It's a business. And you can probably spend less time on your phone diligently working, not absorbing all of that, than you do when you say you're working, but you're just scrolling. Like nothing is getting accomplished by that at all. So I love that. I love that. Okay. Matt, you go now.
Okay, so I feel like I already said all of this, but basically the biggest thing is just like learning how to believe in myself and believe that like I can actually help people here. I think that's probably a big block for everyone. It's like, ooh, can I actually help someone like hit these ranks? Can I actually help them get their customers? So the biggest thing, like that doesn't happen overnight. You're not just going to be like, ooh, I'm confident now. The biggest thing is doing the affirmations. And I used to think they were so dumb. I thought like, oh, I'm lying to myself. Like, why am I saying I'm a 12K? I'm not a 12K. But now I start every single day writing down my affirmations, and they actually work. But you have to do them like consistently every single day. Like before you get on your phone, I'm really bad at getting on my phone, but try to do it first thing and just like believe in yourself, because when you have that confidence in yourself as a leader and in this business, it's going to change like how you talk to people and how you like post and all of your conversations and everything.
Yep. Katie said this the other day, you were the secret sauce to your business, and nobody is going to be confident in this business until you're confident about it. And nobody's going to be confident in these products until you're confident about it. And nobody's going to be confident to say, hey, I want to join a business where I post on social media, until you're willing to get uncomfortable and consistently do it until you are comfortable. You are the missing piece. And you have to understand that when you expect other people to enroll with you, when you want this success and you want this rank, you have to say, what does that mean for me? And the way that I talk to myself, and the way I have my conversations, and the way that I hold my fear. Like you can't sit in that place and expect people to sign up when you're sitting in that fear and you don't believe. So as he said, it's not an overnight thing. I still have to work on my confidence every single day. I still get bummed when I sign somebody up and they don't hit their VIPs. I still get upset when people walk away. That doesn't go away, but I call it the bounce back. Like feel your feelings, but how quick is your bounce back? Because you have goals. And that's what conditions over time, is that you bounce back so much quicker, where I'm going to feel what I'm going to feel, but I still know what I have my hands on, and I know what I'm capable of. And I know that other people need this too. So I have to leave her sad feelings behind, and I have to pull up myself up by my bootstraps, and I have to move on. And you just have to keep doing that. So practice your bounce back with, you can have those hard moments, but speak those affirmations, like he's saying, over yourself, and believe in this, because if you're questioning everything, including yourself, nobody else is going to be able to have that confidence to say yes for themselves. Next. Okay, Jordan, you go.
Okay, I'm gonna try to stick to my notes because there's like a lot of things within holding a breakthrough that I feel. One of them is I don't wait to speak on what's going on anymore. Once I know something's launched, once I know something's going on, immediately I'm somehow on my stories telling my audience. And that's another thing, is you train your audience. I highly believe that you train your audience. Like, you can 100% if you're consistent enough. You can also train your friends and family to know, like, when you're clocked in, you're clocked in. My family knows, like, their exact words are, "Hey, sorry I'm bugging you, but," and they'll like go into it because they know they know I work from my phone. I've made it very clear what I want this job to be. I've made it very clear that I cannot just answer them. If y'all saw how many people try to speak to me daily, I would literally sit on my phone for 10 hours a day on useless conversations. And not useless, loved ones, but nothing that's going to help me run my business. So another one was leaning on my team in my hardest season. And last year I went through some depression. I've told, and like I'm 100% sure I miscarried last year. I was under so much stress, and there was not peace about Jordan. There was nothing peaceful about this girl. And so leaning on my team was huge, and telling them kind of what's going on, because I used to try to be, and I am a dominating person, but I started to let them in a lot more as to what was going on behind the scenes. I think that's very, very important as a leader, so that, they know that you're not like a statue. You are a human with a soul, and you're going through some stuff. And a huge thing was bringing on Sideline Sisters. And that's the thing, is no one told me to reach out to these people. I did it by myself. Like, I decided to FaceTime Brielle, and Lori and I have FaceTime. I talk Em's head off like every single day. So it's just, you make those decisions. No one's going to make it for you. And I think sometimes we have such an incredible, like, hustle and thrive tribe that we take it so literal. We don't ever use it, like, spin off of it with our own stuff, right? So I think sometimes it's just like, oh, you said how many slides for an opportunity? Okay, so how did I do too many? To do whatever. You know the gist of it. Make your own spin of it. It's not rocket science. Lord help me. Like, it's very simple. So just make it your own thing. Don't get so sucked in that you think that you have to do it word for word or whatever, right? This is you. And so, oh, is someone killing someone? It's killing him. Oh, Stevie, I'm sorry. I thought someone was murdering someone. We're good. Another thing was, I stopped putting myself in a box. I stopped putting limitations on what this could be, or truly, you have the globe at your fingertips. That's how I think of it. We're global, and you also have this, and you really don't have limitations unless you put them on yourself. And then just like when I speak to people in person now, I don't put limitations on my conversations. I'm very open. I let them know, that they're missing out. Sorry. When people's faces pop up on here, I get so distracted. Hello, you're beautiful too. So anyway, I stopped putting myself in a box. Let's see here. I decided that the reason that only like 1% are successful is because everyone else stops. So if I don't stop, then that would mean that I'm beating 99% odds. So I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, you're muted. Where'd you go?
Why y'all want to stop muting me? What the? I'm almost done, I swear. No, another thing is you get really good at telling your story with time, but you have to continue doing it. And a big part of this is, like, you're not going to have a story if you keep stopping. You're not going to have a story if you just like don't go through anything. You're not going to have a story to tell if you don't continue doing it. And like, the reason I came on, the products, what they did, it's all the same thing. It didn't change. Like, I still have this, I'm better at telling it now to my audience. I'm more passionate with it. I understand more. Like, when I talk about the comp plan, I get what I'm saying a lot more, but I just started freaking going live right away. I didn't know what I was saying. I was doing whatever and was like, yeah, go do this. I was like, I don't even know what that means. I was a cave woman and she said something about a curiosity post. And I was like, does that even mean? Like, what is a breadcrumb? Like, I don't even know what's going on. And so I was so old school, so cave woman that she was messaging me that. And I'm just like, okay. And I just did it. Like, you just do it. Just freaking rip the Band-Aid. This job is literally just ripping multiple Band-Aids all the time. Get it over with. Just do it. Suck it first. Get better at it. And then I've never stopped since day one. I've never stopped. There's never been, I can't tell you a time. I've had rough patches, but I've never stopped running my business. So now when someone like, maybe they have an issue with the product, or maybe one of my teammates is having a much bigger issue, I finally feel so peaceful and confident speaking on those things. Like, it doesn't get me riled up when someone messages me that the patch is doing something other. And, like, these things don't bother me anymore because I just continued. And like, you gain confidence in your confidence bucket little by little. And then, and rude comments, like, people are people, okay? We're all human and humans err. The piece of showing up that Em is talking about is I don't do it I don't go live to get someone in my inbox. I don't go live. I don't post a post and hope someone's like magically there. I don't wait for the likes or the comments or whatever. I don't go to my back office multiple times and refresh it over and over and over again, hoping that the circle magically fixed itself within the last 10 minutes. I don't know how that would happen. And, it's just one of those things where every day I'm just like, well, this is what I love doing. So here we are. It's me. And that's about it. And my inbox is always full now. I always I turn on my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, I finally have people in my inbox. Like, it's just bizarre how it follows each other. And, I believe God's timing is perfect. I believe that he knew I was about to take off right before we moved, and I couldn't have handled it. I could not have handled a team last year. I couldn't handle myself. I couldn't even handle my own life. And I was physically sick. I was so depressed and mentally not well. And so I spiked and he took it back down real quick. And he was like, just kidding, sis. We're going to hang out real quick right here. And then, I'm sorry, I'm hurrying. I know it's already past 10. And then, his timing is perfect because I believe that with his blessing and with my hard work, literally anything is possible. And I highly believe that. So I want you to ask yourself, are you showing up as your highest ranked self? So tomorrow when you wake up, or tonight when you're going to put this on your stories and talk about the work with me, or maybe you're going to answer someone tonight, what would your highest version of yourself say to that person? How would your highest, as your top leader, you being the top, what are you going to say to the team? How are you, what are you going to implement monthly? What are your goals going to be? What is your schedule going to look like? That's what I want you to think of is you're not showing up as brand promoter you. You're showing up as what you want to be in this business. And then you do it over and over again. And then you fail and you keep doing it. And then someone pisses you off and you do it again. And a customer doesn't like the sample pack. And then you do it again and give someone else a sample pack because they're great. And it's just one of those things, y'all, that you have to continue showing up as your highest version. But you're not going to know the arrival point because there won't be one. You're just going to keep creating a new one, a new level every time. So that's it. That's a lot. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. That was great. I'm going to touch on one thing you said, and then I'll send it to Liv to close this out. She mentioned talking to your team, and she was talking specifically about her downline, but I just want to make this a broad point. Stop sitting in what you're struggling with and lying to yourself and telling yourself that you're alone, because you're not. And that's our human nature. And I do this all the time where I will struggle with the same thing for months and not talk to anybody about it, not be open about it, not just have the single, the courage to utter, I'm having a really hard time with this. The second that you do that, you take back the power. So if you have been struggling with something, sitting in something, whether it's your business, whether it's your personal life, I don't care what it is. I promise you I've heard it all. talk to your upline, talk to your sideline, talk to somebody on your team and speak what you are struggling with. We tell ourselves that we're alone, but you're not. I don't care about upline, downline, anything. Right now there's 130 of us. There was 190 of us on here early. You have to find somebody to talk to, because what you're feeling, you're not alone in. But the enemy has power when you sit in silence and you just fester with it. And it becomes this cycle where you can't grow and you can't move on and you can't get through it because you're being quiet. I just want you to talk to somebody, whether it's like, hey, my anxiety's been kicking my ass lately, or whether it's, hey, this one person said this one thing and I can't shake it, or hey, I'm fearing this in my business and I just can't do it. Somebody could pour a 60-second voice clip into you that could catapult you to the next level. All you have to do is speak it out and stop telling yourself that you're alone, because you are not. I just wanted to say that. Okay, Liv, finish this out and we will close it out for the evening.
Okay, so for me, I would say definitely mindset plays a role in the breakthroughs and the volume that's rising and the team that's growing. Like, I know that we train so much on mindset, and there's so many resources that are here. And I think that's one thing I have realized is that, yes, you want to lean on your upline, you want to ask them questions, you want to be open. But for me, I was going to him about a lot of things, and I was like, okay, I need to start being resourceful. I need to start problem solving on my own and work through this if I want to be the leader that I'm trying to be, right? So I decided to use the resources, watch trainings, and use YouTube, and Google's free, right? Like, there's other ways for me to learn and grow. Like, I use so many resources now. Like, I get on YouTube a lot more. I listen to a lot, like, different podcasts every other day. Like, my routine is so different now versus when I was a 4K, and I'm not afraid to talk about the business. You all, like, break through that and know that all we do is talk about 3 simple steps, right? That is all we talk about in a business that is unmatched. Like, if you've been in network marketing in the past, like, you all know Lavelle was like the best company around. Like, I will just go ahead and tell you, like, I know, like, what we have is golden. So when I present myself and I'm on a live video or I'm on my stories, like, I know, like, this is going to change someone's life who's ready for it. Like you've got, like, I've just been so more read lately too, and what we have our hands on. Like, if you are just going to, like, talk about things, like if I'm talking with the potential and they are, you know, giving me excuses, or like they tell me that they're going to order on a day or things like that, I don't put expectations on it. I don't consume in that one enrollment. Like, I am looking for people who want to be a part of this. Like, I am looking for like-minded women. I say that I attract like-minded women. I say what I want my reality to be, you guys. Like, I preach those affirmation Matt was talking about. Like, you slowly start to believe those things when you say it, even though it sounds crazy. And just simplicity, keeping it so freaking simple, you all. Like, that's my word for the year. Simplicity, like simplifying every single thing that I hear, every single thing that I learn, and cutting it in half and making it very simple, and knowing that we just share about 3 simple steps. Jason and Paul do the hard work. They have the patented technology, right? They're doing all the shipments. That's the labor. That's the hard work. I just show up. I just be me. And the more you talk about the business, like I was telling one of my promoters this earlier, I said, the more you share about it, the more it's going to come to you, right? The more you hear other people share about it, it's going to come more natural to you on what you want to share about and what you want to say about the business. Because she was like, I was so nervous. I hopped on a live. It was my first time, and I didn't know what to say about the comp plan, and I didn't know what to say about the business. I'm very new. And I told her, like, that's normal. That's okay. You did great. Like, the more you talk about it, like, the better it'll sound when it comes out. Don't overthink it. And it's so normal to think that. But the only way you're going to learn is if you do it, and is if you get uncomfortable, and is if you switch up your routine every now and then. Like, it can't be the same thing, you guys. Like, every other week, I'm doing something different in some way, whether that's reading a new book, a new podcast, doing something productive. You all, like, just look at your business as a business and just get uncomfortable. Like, that's it. I'm done.
Thank you. And thank all you guys so much. I pray that you can take something from tonight and really know that you are worthy of your own breakthrough and you're ready for your own breakthrough, especially during this bonus season. Just stop holding yourself back. Be realistic with yourself. Know what you're working towards. And like Liv just said, get uncomfortable. I say this all the time, but you're not going to die. You're not going to die. It's not going to be that hard. I promise you. You're going to be scared. If you're like me, you might feel like you have to go to the bathroom for like 4 minutes, and then it's going to pass. You're going to be like, holy crap, I did that. I did that. And then in 6 months, you're going to be teaching somebody else how to do it. Getting uncomfortable in your business is worth it, and take the pressure off yourself. I do this all the time. When I hold myself back, I'm being selfish because I'm not giving this to other people in the best capacity that I can. So stop being selfish, stop being willing to get uncomfortable. You signed up for a reason, and I can promise you, you'd rather be uncomfortable during these next 3 months and then get a bonus payout for the next 10 to 12. That's going to be worth it. Okay. So I love you guys. I will upload this tomorrow, and we will see you later.